Welcome back. Today, we're taking a journey to a home that's been lost to time, a place in what is now North Korea, a village that for so many is now completely unreachable. But this isn't just a story about a place on a map. It's really about the people, the family that called it home for hundreds of years, the Okcheon Jeon clan. Their story is so deeply woven into the fabric of this land. Now, just a quick heads up, this is a direct sequel to our previous explainer, Kwangdeok-myeon Reminiscences14, Clan Village. You can definitely watch this on its own, but if you check that one out first, I promise, the context and the background of what we're about to dive into will make so much more sense. Okay, let's get into it. So our focus today is on Kwangdeok-myeon, this unreachable homeland, and we're going to see it through the eyes of one of its great founding families, the Okcheon Jeon clan. Kwangdeok-myeon was, well, it was a real hub for many of Korea's most prominent families. You had the Kwons, the Kims, the Lees. The list goes on. But today, we're zeroing in on the Okcheon Jeon clan. We're going to trace their story, figure out how they got here, and what it all means. To really get a handle on this family's story, we have to rewind. And I mean way back. We're talking over 2,000 years ago, to the very start of one of Korea's ancient kingdoms. Okay, so meet the founder, Jeon. This guy wasn't just some ancestor. He was a literal nation builder. Can you imagine that? He was one of only 10 key figures who helped establish the entire Baekje kingdom. We're talking 18 BC. That is some serious history. And what's really amazing is that this history isn't just stuck in a book somewhere. It's alive. Every single year, on October 3rd, his descendants still gather for ancestral rites. And get this, the site of his tomb is now part of the Kyunghee University campus in Seoul. So you have this unbroken line, a tradition stretching all the way from 18 BC to today. Incredible. So we have this epic origin story, right? But the question is, how did this ancient clan, born at the dawn of a kingdom, end up putting down such deep roots in this one specific place, Kwangdeok-myeon? Well, let's follow the breadcrumbs. This family's journey is practically a map of Korean history itself. They didn't just help found one dynasty, they were key players in establishing the Goryeo dynasty too. Then, fast forward to the 27th generation, and the Okcheon branch officially gets its name. A few generations later, they established themselves in Kaesong, and finally, at the 36th generation, the sons of Jeongjun branch out and build the very communities in Kwangdeok-myeon that are at the center of our story today. And when I say they built communities, I mean they really built them. Before the Korean War tore the peninsula apart, the Okcheon Jeon clan wasn't just hanging around in Kwangdeok-myeon. No, they were a vibrant, thriving, and essential part of the entire region. Just think about this number for a second. 40. In one single area called Yeul, there were 40 households of the Okcheon Jeon clan living and working together. That's not just a neighborhood. That is a genuine clan village. And then, on top of that, add another 10 households just a little ways away in Gocheokri. So we're talking about a significant concentrated presence. This family was the center of gravity there. And they weren't just living there. They were leading the way. Members of the Jeon clan held the top job, head of Kwangdeok-myeon, multiple times. They were government officials, they were the educators teaching the kids at the local elementary school, they ran the youth groups. They were the glue that held the community together. And then, the Korean War. It was like a hurricane that swept through, tearing up this family tree by its roots and scattering its seeds not just across the country, but all over the world. The change was just total. You have a community that was once defined by farming and local leadership, suddenly scattered to the winds. They became government officials, army officers, factory workers, even immigrants starting brand new lives in places as far away as Australia. Looking at the details here really paints a picture. People from one little village, Yodengol, ended up in totally different worlds. Then you have folks from Kyunanadamol, some moving halfway across the planet, others finding work in prisons or selling souvenirs. That deep connection to the land was just severed, and they had to forge new lives out of what was left. So you might be wondering, how do we know all of this with such incredible detail? Well, we know because one of their own, Jeon, made it his mission to piece this history back together. A man from that lost village of Yodengol, who later worked in the provincial government, made sure the story of his scattered family would never, ever be forgotten. And that question, right there, is really what this is all about. When you trace the journey of the Okcheon clan, from founding an ancient kingdom to building a village to being scattered across the globe, you're seeing something much bigger than just one family's history. You're seeing the story of Korea itself in miniature. A story of deep, deep roots, of profound loss, and of an absolutely incredible resilience in the face of it all.